I think we are live. We do have a stream today.
Yahoo!
We were running a little bit late, a little behind schedule, getting things all sorted out, but we are here. So I'm glad you're on top of things.
Hanchu's earlier than we are.
Yeah,
Talk about punctual.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, Hanshu, he's a real one. We know Hanshu. We like Hanshu on these parts. Reliable fella. Keeping us accountable to our start time, which we really could use more of, that accountability. But, so it goes. Howdy, Treevoid. How you doing? MF, good to see you all.
So is MF. Good evening, everybody.
We are doing okay tonight, I think. I hope you're doing well as well. Per normal, we like to use this pre-show to do a little audio check, little technical check. I think for once... I had the wrong screen going. But as you guys saw, we had the gameplay actually up and running.
Yahoo!
Oh no, Taco Bell commercial. I don't think we get... Do we get revenue from that? I hope we get revenue from that. I don't think we get revenue from that. Damn.
I'll send them a message.
Oh, so we have to be like, me gusta Taco Bell?
Until they start sponsoring us, we ain't saying nothing about that particular chain.
All right, fair enough.
We have specific requirements before we give endorsements, positive or negative or otherwise, for any products.
I'll be the Spanish rep to advertise for them. I got you.
Exactly. You're gonna be help us get into that market. Word, Chad? That's a great question. I wish I could answer for you, and the fact that I can't is honestly darkens my day just a little bit. Poto Cedar, happy the Canadian Thanksgiving to you, my friend, and to all the Canadians out there who are listening or watching to this. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah, both of you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, all both of you.
Thanks for coming, and happy Canadian Thanksgiving, everybody.
Howdy, y'all. Canada's real busy. I mean, I can't comment on that. I've never personally seen a Canada or heard one move, but people seem to believe in it, and I don't want to go around telling people what is and isn't real as far as their country goes.
Syrupers.
Syrupers. Oof. How you gonna take that?
Is that a slur?
Yeah, Hancho, honestly, that would be a good time if we could have Zoe and some girl checking out Raw and Shinryu. That would be a good time. I might need to see if we can't make that happen. I'll reiterate this after we properly get started, but Raw Life actually is he's got a wedding coming up, as you may be aware. He and Becca are tying the knot, and that's going to be later this month. They're very deep into wedding prep, and so me, Mouse, and Blind Eye are going to hold down the fort during the month of October while he gets the nuptials handled.
So the best player in the game is taking a mini vacation.
The best player in the game is taking a well-earned break to get his house in order as he ties the knot with the love of his life. You love to see it. It's truly beautiful. I actually have no idea if he'll be popping in or like what his plans is vis-a-vis the chat, but wedding crafting is for nerds. Just do the wedding.
I don't know.
That's very good. That is. I'm gonna have to. I'll pass that along to him. I think we all know Raul will appreciate that. As you know, very action oriented, not into the theory crafting. He likes to just get in there and get it done. So honestly, I mean, if I tell him that, there's a good chance he might be married by the end of next week.
Just do it early.
Just do it. Just do the thing.
Yeah, that Mean Girls community stream. We are waiting for Raw Life to be a little less busy before we.
I don't think we can. We can't. Raw can't miss the Mean Girls stream. So once he's back from wedding times, we'll get that sorted out. We haven't forgotten about it. We just have had a lot of IRL busy work along with a lot of miscommunication about how logistically that's going to work. So.
How funny would it be if he, comes back next month? Because I think next month is when his boy gets his rework.
Oh, yo.
You're talking about
Zidane.
Oh, that guy.
I think Guy gets his rework that one too. Uh-oh.
We talking about
which
JP
raw
or
life
GL?
guy are we talking about?
Calling it a rework. That's a way to describe it.
It's a feature.
It is. Yeah, Mouse. Maybe if we have another dead week of content, maybe next week it'll just be you FT10ing people.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I'd be down to watch, not to participate. I have infamously brittle bones, so
yeah. I can fight anyone who wants to fight me.
Exactly.
No.
Very violent, Mouse. So I think we've kind of gotten thing. You know what I should do? A streamer that I am, very good at running things. Definitely forgot about the intro music, so I'll go ahead and pull that up right quick while stalling for time. And there we go. Before we begin, I just want to in chat how we sounding? Are we three of us all coming in? When I listened to the VOD for last week, Mouse seemed really quiet, so I wanted to check with chat before we kind of started officially. And you guys want to speak up real quick, just to?
Yeah, guys. Hopefully we're sounding okay.
Cool. Okay. Good.
Sorry, I was coughing. Excuse me. How do I sound?
Okay, so we're sounding good. Where Chad says Mouse is too quiet, so I should probably lower him just a bit more, just to be on the safe side. I think, though, I think we're probably about ready to start. You just go ahead and turn Mouse up, because I'm paranoid that that's going to be an issue. There we go. What the heck? Alright, then we'll go ahead and start things off in 3, 2, 1.
And now it's time to start the show with Raw Life, Bl'Artagnan, and Leaf. This is the Lifestream.
Son of a bitch, my mic didn't unmute when I pressed the unmute button. God damn it. I sounded so good, so confident, God, I sounded damn good. I'm so mad. I was halfway through throwing it to Mouse.
Cut, everybody.
Son of a...
Cut the camera.
Oh my god, you know what, we'll see you next week. Thank you for coming to the live stream. This has been episode number 70, I don't even care. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the live stream, and Raw Life isn't here, but that doesn't mean we can't have our fair share of hijinks, tomfoolery, and absolute gaffes. My name is Bl'Artagnan, and I am not alone. I am joined here by my co-conspirators here, Leaf, Blade, Mouse, and Blind Eye. Leaf, how you doing, my guy?
I'm doing pretty good. I had COVID last week, but I've beaten the disease. I'm just working on a cough still from last week, just because I coughed so much, my throat got all fucked up. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. My little brother ended up visiting for his reading week, so we're just kind of like hanging out. It was like post-COVID and everything, so we're all cool. But yeah, so I'm having a pretty good week so far. How about yourself, Blind?
I'm doing pretty good. Today, officially, my hurricane supplies ran out. So I had to restock on everything, really. So yeah, it was an okay Monday.
Very nice.
So that's great. We've defeated COVID. We've defeated Hurricane Ian. I've defeated my whatever that intro thing was. Technical ineptitude. Oh, I've defeated BlueStacks. That's what it is. We have gameplay here, from what I can tell. It appears to be going. So I've defeated that. BlueStacks. It's Bl'Art 1, BlueStack 0 again. Bl'Art 2, BlueStacks? I don't know. Still undefeated. Still very good at that stream technology thing. Definitely expected today to be the one hosting this stream and not scrambling at the last second to figure out how to run it. But it's okay. the usual captain of the ship, Raw Life, he's taking a well-deserved vacation, and by that I mean he's getting married. Raw Life and Becca are going to be tying the knot in just a couple weeks, and of course, as those of you who've been married or have attended weddings know, there's a lot of prep that goes into those, and so to make sure that Raw is able to focus on one of the more important milestones in one's life, he's taken some time to himself to handle that, which we here at the Lifestream are huge fans of. Work-life balance, even if that work is just kind of streaming a mobile game to your friends. And so Raw, if you're watching this, hey, stay cool, buddy. We'll see you when you get back. We'll keep the lights on until you get home.
We're not the electricity bill, Jesus.
Sorry. My wife and I have been looking at homes, so you just triggered us really, really badly. Wow.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's what's been going on in Bl'Artland. Is me and the missus have been just seeing about the next chapter of our lives vis-a-vis houses, and God, it's a bad time to. Oh my God, we don't need to get into that, but it's that's rough, buddy. But we're not a podcast to talk about houses. We're not a podcast to talk about hurricanes or COVID. We're not a podcast at all. We are a live stream that talks about this here mobile game, Dissidia, Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. And we have a lot to cover, don't we? We have a lot to talk about this week. A lot going on in the game. A lot of content, a lot of characters, a lot of news and updates. Man, there's nothing to talk about. What a slow week. I'd say what you want to go to the news, but basically, it's Faris' event. That's the only thing that's happened. It's Faris' event, right?
Yes, that's all we've gotten since our last show is the Faris event.
Unfortunately,
so
it happens. We have these weeks.
They do happen, and that's how it goes sometimes. Faris is not the only character on the banner. We're gonna, as always, start with the C90. Blind Eye, you want to talk about Agrius?
Yeah, sure.
You and I have talked extensively about
just in general what she got, or just a brief overview?
Brief. Why should we care about Agrius now?
All right, so basically, Agrius was known before as this lockdown CC character that, if people were around at the end of Lufenia and at the start of Lufenia Plus, a lot of people really hyped her up. So to those people, this is a free upgrade, and in her free upgrade, the notable skills she got is, or the notable rework she got, was from her LD. Her LD, for those who don't know, makes it so that after use and at quest start, she gets a brave attack called Faded Moly. And Faded Moly is basically a frame debuff that applies to the enemy, and it applies confusion, and it also makes them take a little bit more damage. And now lasts for 2 turns. It used to be 1 turn, so it's an extra turn of a confusion. And her EX from her C85 now gives her a free ability use next turn, and the EX also applies Silence, which is a paralyze if the enemy uses a magic brave / HP attack. And with the free ability use, you can use that on Agrius' C88, which, good lord, it basically makes it so that her skill 2, which has a 25% chance to paralyze, has a 100% chance. If you want to get a technical, it's higher than 100%, but nothing really nothing really happens after 100%. So basically, it's a guaranteed paralysis.
Just wait until they start getting like a 10% chance to evade debuffs, and suddenly Agrius becomes the go-to.
There you go, yeah. Yeah, overall, Agrius is pretty nice. She's like this 3rd slot disruptor. Very nice to have in the party. Again, for those who got Agrius, this is a free upgrade. Would I encourage pulling for Agrius? Probably not. I mean, if you want a disruptor, I mean, by all means, like, this banner has Agrius, so it's pretty good. And it also has Faris, who we'll get to in a moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you guys messed with Agrius? And if so, what are your opinions on her?
Well, yeah, you first.
I haven't messed with her too terribly much. I think I agree with your sentiment of like maybe not pulling for her right now. Like an excellent free upgrade, like you said. All of her the changes that she got kind of really rounds out her kit and makes her a more consistent
stun bot, I guess we would call it.
Yeah.
But
you know, as far as locking enemies down, I talked about it a little bit last show, but like you have so many tools to not need to lock them down and take advantage of units or take advantage of enemies who aren't currently locked down, that like I'm not sure if locking down enemies is like a super I don't want to say like worth it, but like I wouldn't like, it's just not a necessary thing that we need right now, I would say.
Yeah,
but she's good. Like if you want to use Desh, probably Desh's best partner because of how many paralyzes and stuff to drive the FR, because of how many paralyzes and stuff she has in her kit. So if that's something you want to do, then she's great. She is, like you said, a good third slot unit. I think she's solid. But yeah, maybe not pull for her right now.
Yeah, Agrias is in such a weird spot for me right now, because the upgrades we covered, like, she is really quite strong, if you ask me, because they, you know, on top of the upgrades we mentioned, I think the EX got a recast up, and the additional ability. Sorry, Bl'Artagnan is a big Agrias fan. But the her AA now actually lasts for 2 turns, so it doubled the. You know, ignoring the fact that you get a free use of it every few turns from her EX, it lasts for 2 turns now, so that's 2 turns of her skill 2 applying Paralyze for 2 turns, unless I misunderstood how the skill works. I actually haven't tried it out, because she just gets so much Paralyze, it hasn't been an issue. And on top of that, you know, she already had competitive kind of support auras, which have been further upgraded now, so that, you know, combined with her debuff providing, you know, additional Brave and HP damage up, she's actually providing some really good party support. So on paper, you know, she has a burst heal, she has regen, she has debuff, she has lockdown, she has, you know, respectable support damage, and by that I mean it's, you know, it's par for the course support damage, so you know it is what it is. You know, she has a good ultimate weapon type, she has a good, you know, good armor, she, like, everything about this character is good except her context, because like Mass was saying, and I've been thinking about this, you know. I've been thinking about context and thinking, like, well, why is it not so good to paralyze now, but it used to be really good back in the day? And there are a couple of reasons. One, I think enemies don't punish you as hard for letting them take turns. Like, they don't do as much mean stuff. And the mean stuff they do is really, you know, it's easier to mitigate because our tanks are that much more powerful than they used to be. So, they're not punishing you as hard. You know, they're not hitting you with crazy crippling debuffs that, you know, go pierce through your immunity or whatever. They're not ignoring your HP, but they aren't hitting you as threateningly. And on top of that, because of how Force Time works, it used to be that you would usually go for like an aggressive team over a counter team, because even if they ended up with the same turn count, the counter animations take so much longer that you're just going to take twice as long to do a counter team. Why bother doing it? And now, because of the way Force Time works with, like, you know, it not taking down on enemy actions, you're now incentivized to give bosses turns, because they don't do enough to scare you, and you could take more force advantage and deal more damage with off-turn damage. So, like, Agrias is really good. She's a really, really good unit. This is a great C90. It just, I guess, it only really, for me, makes sense to use her if, like, for instance, Agrias, Terra Young, I think, would be a good team. Or I guess Vayne Young or whatever. The idea being, basically, you know, instead of a tank, you just slot Agrias in to keep you protected. But, you know, and Excalibur makes a great point. Most big attacks these days are threshold attacks or force attacks, or things that can't be prevented by paralysis. The attack is guaranteed, not the effect necessarily. And so I've been thinking a lot. She's a really good character who we can't recommend in good conscience because her niche isn't as valuable as it was. Although the one thing I've been thinking about is that if they introduce, like, maybe a GL first fight or something, maybe one of these Krivos fights that's designed to, like, punish you for using counter tanks or otherwise disincentivize you, or if the meta ever shifts that way, a character like Agrias may go up in value again. So I wouldn't pull for her. If you pulled for her back in the day, and I don't know if you all remember, when Agrias got her LD, the Lifestream officially made her our mascot, and the entire host team blued her. By the way, I don't know if you guys have blue Agrias, but we're going to have to fix that if that's not the case. Just putting that out there. But yeah, I mean, don't even get me started on the cheeses with like the Ketchi ghosts and all that stuff. Great character, fantastic kit, good C90. Awkward context.
I would just say right now, like, it's her team options are pretty limited.
Yeah.
Because like if we run like an off-turn team, it would be like centered around Core, Orin, Gladio, Golif, even maybe Edge. And those characters, to get the most of their damage, the enemy has to act. And if you're locking them down, it's extremely hard for the enemies to act. So you would have to run like trap characters, or like Bl'Art said it, Yang, Freya, Kane obviously works, because even if the enemy's paralyzed, their moves still go off.
Yeah, like there could be some like specific kind of thing where like against a boss who turn warps on thresholds instead of like doing a guaranteed attack, maybe Agrius can pair well with like a Terra or whatever. But it's at now, because Force Time rewards you so heavily for using counter characters, because it's no longer the time loss it was, because it means you get more time in Force Time, meaning more damage in a more meaningful damage per action. I like Agrius a lot, and I'm going to try to use her, and I don't think she's worth pulling for.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel too. Also, one thing that I forgot to mention that I honestly found out, and she had it even after her rework, is that her skill 1 generic buff Bravery, it's a stackable buff, and at max stacks it gives her 100% debuff evasion.
It's true, yeah. It doesn't come up too often, but I have noticed that in my runs of like sometimes it's just this handy, like, oh, she has debuff evasion. So
yeah, like my party gets debuffed except Agrius, and I'm like, what is going on here? And then I was like, let me take a look at her buffs, and like I looked at Holy Sword, and I'm like, oh no, it's not coming out. And then I looked at Bravery, and I'm like, what? She always had this.
It's really cool. I love Paladin type characters like her, Beatrix, where like they're just a really good all around solid character. In her case, she just suffers right now from the fact that for once, Paralyze isn't actually helpful to have because we love counterattacks so much. I mean, you could get kind of goofy and fancy and run her with some kind of core team, because core doesn't care if they attack. You see what I'm saying? Some kind of weird like targeting kind of
like Machina.
Doesn't matter if they attack
or something like that.
Yeah, like if you want to get really weird, you could like Machina core Agrius, just. But why though? And the answer is because you like Agrius. Now that we've said that, I think I might try that team. But that's a me problem, not a you problem. Hey, Dave 8711, how's it going? Good to see you. So
yeah, it's unfortunate. I think it's just one of those things where the system mechanics don't play well with the character that came out. Which is like we have a few archetypes like that now, like realm kind of warp characters don't work super well with Force Time currently, but it is what it is. Yeah,
and I want to reiterate to everyone that she's not a bad character, but I honestly wouldn't really pull for her now. Maybe when she reruns, she'll get a tuning pass, or maybe the meta will be more in her favor. But I mean, that's something that's in the future. That's something we'll have to see, obviously. Only time will tell.
It feels unlikely that we're going to have another situation where like Agrius is secretly like big stonks, like again, like the Ketchi ghosts, or the there were 2 fights. What was the other fight where she was really helpful? I forget. But there's another.
She like trivialized the
Shulk.
Yeah, the Shulk one.
Yeah, the Shulk one.
So like, there's not, they're according to the JP timeline, Agrius isn't secretly going to be like this awesome, future investment where you pick her up now and 3 months from now she like cheeses a fight. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Again, who knows? Maybe a GL exclusive fight will change that, but I wouldn't pull in hopes of that happening, because if that happens, in all likelihood they're going to feature a character for whom you can pull for them instead.
I will say too, though, because the support that she offers is really competent, but when she originally released, I might kind of talk about my ass here, but when she originally released, she was that kind of support with like Brave gains and stuff, and HP damage up was a little bit more rare on like a non-PT unit. Does that sound right or no?
That is true, yes.
but now that's like the standard for supports largely. Not always Brave gain, but at least like having HP damage up and stuff like that. So her support has been a little bit more standardized, which is like kind of even less of a reason to bring her, perhaps. But yeah, just another thing I wanted to mention.
Yeah, I mean, well,
that's a good point for sure.
She actually is pretty, because it's not to get like overly numerical about it, but we're looking at 20% Brave damage gains and HP damage, which is standard and good with the gains, because you don't always get the gains. But on top of that, her Fated Moly is an additional 20% Brave and 10% HP, so...
And I believe this tuning pass, the LD Aura, got an HP damage increase to the party, so she's giving 30% if Fated Moly is active, which is like Lena numbers.
Yeah,
and when Lena came out, like, that was pretty good.
She's giving 40 Brave, 30 HP, and 20 gains, along with like I think 80% attack. So like overall, I'd say she brings good auras, especially if you can keep Fated Moly on. Which another low-key buff. She got an extra use of her LD, so that's another use of Fated Moly and another hard-hitting LD and additional uses of her skill 1 and skill 2. I mean, not the longevity is an issue.
Yeah, no, her longevity is great. And just considering the fact that she's like this disrupting character, maybe even more so like a protector, but like in the form of disrupting, like her auras are pretty nice.
Yeah.
Like shutting down the enemy and providing like really relevant auras, that's really good.
Really, the only problem, I can't reiterate this enough, the only issue she has, she's a fantastic character in all regards, except for the fact that right now she kind of hard counters one of the most effective, or soft counters I should say, one of the most effective strategies you could be bringing to most fights. Like Excalibur has been going wild, auto-plussing his way through Shinryu, with, Auron and Core and all that, and with Agrias on the team, it doesn't go that well. So it's just really awkward. So, I mean, hey, if you love Agrias, I'm sure she can pull stuff off for you, but I see you, Excal. I see what you've been doing. Just kind of an awkward spot. That said, I think we've talked enough about Agrias, who we love and who you guys will be bluing at the end of the stream.
Fuck.
For the appropriate number of subs, because we are, after all, a non-charitable organization.
Get that back.
But Agrias is not the feature character of the banner. The featured character of the banner here. Mouse, did you pull for this character? And if so, do you want to talk about it, or do you want me to just give the spiel?
Faris, yeah, I ended up pulling for. I can do a bit of a spiel.
By all means.
I think her updates are really nice. I think one of the bigger things is she's transitioned into kind of an off-turn unit now with the way that her overhead works. So before it used to be like 2 brave hits with battery or something. Now it is 3 brave dumps with battery still. So she's transitioned to this kind of, it's one thing, like she didn't lose a role. She still has all the debuffs. She does the de-spelling and everything like that. And her damage numbers are pretty good. But yeah, now she has this like extra kind of, on top of all of that, she also has this off-turn utility, which is nice. And like we just talked about, is like a really popular strategy right now. She is a knife UT weapon, which I don't want to say is like a bad one, but it's not.
It's mid.
It is mid.
Yeah, it is mid. You're not wrong there.
It's, we got Zidane, and Thancred coming out soon, so for a rerun. So keep an eye out for that for your knife UT runners.
I think Edge gets his force enhancement soon too.
Yeah, I mean, Edge is pretty decent.
Edge is a good unit.
On behalf of the live stream, Lillicet will be getting an FR.
That's right.
I think Edge gets his force enhancements, if I'm not wrong, on Vaughn's banner, and that's a banner Bl'Art's looking forward to. But more on that later.
Yeah, that's a future situation. But
yeah.
Okay, it's not terrible. Locke's getting a rerun too. Reno's getting a rerun. Okay.
Yeah, so not saying it's definitely not, it's not great sword or unique or short sword level. I wouldn't even say it's like spear or staff level. But it's it's better than Throne. It's probably better than Gun. It's probably better than.
I'd say it has its fans. That's for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't do what I did and make it build one purely for Faris.
Yeah, I saw that. That was very bold.
We'll see how that works out for me. Because Faris,
blue Faris though.
Faris is this is so weird. Faris, I think, is simultaneously in the best one. Maybe this might be the best or second best state of the game she's been in personally. But howdy, Lil Mix 94. That isn't saying a whole lot though, because Faris has always been kind of awkward. And I say this, Faris is one of my favorite characters because she's from one of my favorite games in the series, and is also a lady pirate, which is just kind of dope.
Mm-hmm.
But her kit has been kind of awkward because her whole deal is that she has a bunch of generic debuffs, which her LD is now framed, so you're stuck with them. They're potent debuffs, but they take up a lot of space, and they don't have the HP damage up or whatever, brave damage up. So it's very kind of intensive and clunky to use her, and she's very slow, which is with Yang being slow, that's fun because you just whatever, give him an aura or give him an aura call and let Terra go nuts or something. Faris being slow is awkward because she's a dispeller, and so you want her to be using her skill 2 to dispel, but you can't always do that because she's so damn slow. And her high turn rate move is her skill 1, so if you're trying to position her, you have to use the skill you don't want to use in order to use the skill. You see what I'm saying? So it's always been kind of awkward to use Faris.
I think this, with her being so slow... Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But
I think you're about to say... Yeah, you're about to get to the key here, which is they made a single change that I think really transformed her in a good way, which is now her overhead is a reasonably hard-hitting trap and battery effect.
Yeah, it kind of rounds her out nicely, where her being so slow isn't such a problem anymore. I've also found, the dispel is nice, but oftentimes bosses aren't super meaningfully buffing themselves. Even in this fight, these are some pretty strong buffs, but you can kind of work around them or work through them.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you do find them, I'd cite the Lena LD fight with the Sahagins,
sure.
Or I think it was the Sahagins. Sometimes for certain fights they give themselves nutso buffs, or I don't. For those of you who remember the Ifrit, the original Ultimate Ifrit fight, he opens the fight and periodically will gave himself this gigantic defense buff, insane defense buff, which was hilarious because that never normally matters. But in this case, it actually if you didn't get rid of that buff, you better be bringing some kind of nutso damage. And so having dispels, it comes up sometimes. It's nice when it happens. Sometimes it's just nice because dispelling gives you more room to put debuffs on them if you want to do some kind of Faris is kind of weird though, because for one thing, she already brings 5 debuffs, so you better have really good. Those last 3 better matter a lot. But in the slowness, it's awkward. But the off-turn damage thing is really nice now. Something I personally found when I tried using her in this fight was that her being so slow is really awkward because these bosses were buffing themselves, and we'll touch briefly on... So she has an FR as well. We'll talk about that real quick right now, get it out of the way so we can get back to kind of talking about Faris writ large. It enchants party with water. It's one of those 5% a turn, off-turn FRs for water damage, easy to hit. And it caps out at 40% on-turn damage. 40% plus the 5 from water damage, if you can get them to 8 debuffs. Hello, Jojo the Cold. Welcome. And the thing about that is... This is potentially a very powerful off-turn FR, because you could theoretically be looking at 45 damage every turn, and then 5% for all the off-turn effects that you got going on, and that can really add up.
That's equal to core right now.
It's equal to core. I forget if we figured... Did we determine that his... what was it? Did we figure out if his link attack procs on the turn of the person? Is he also 45 on turn if... I think we mapped it out.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Okay, so he's functionally, he and Faris are basically identical. The main differences are, Core I think is a much better FR because Elemental Lockouts, which we're going to talk about, don't affect, Core doesn't care about them. And on top of that, debuff management isn't a thing. I don't know if you guys tried using Faris in this fight. Something I found that was really awkward was the bosses would buff themselves, right? And they get a frame buff or 2. And so there's a buff. Okay, well, we'll need to dispel the buff, so we use Faris to dispel the buff. Then they buff themselves again on their turn because they warp, and before you have a chance to use a call after the dispel to like apply more debuffs, they would warp and then buff themselves, so now you still can't get 8 debuffs on them no matter what you do. I would have had like you have to blow a summon or something, or a burst phase in order to dispel them and also get rid of all of their buffs, or dispel them and then get 8 debuffs on them. So it was very hard. The trick that someone suggested to me, which ended up being really helpful, is you just give her a Vanille Sphere, and then on her turns, on the enemy turns, she's practically guaranteed to break them and erase the buff, assuming her trap breaks them, which isn't always guaranteed if you're running an off-turn team, so it's kind of an awkward setup, but it gives her some extra utility, which is pretty handy.
Yeah.
One thing I will note about Faris's off-turn, since we seem to be talking a lot about it, I feel like out of all of these off-turn attacks that go off, Faris's is high-end. It does a lot of damage.
Yeah. It is... I think it's 3 HP dumps with a splash, so it's stronger than Fujin's. And
yeah,
I mean it's
and the party battery is no joke either.
That's something else to mention. Party battery, it does party battery based on brave damage, which is really funny. The reason it's based on brave damage instead of HP damage is because originally the attack didn't have HP damage associated with it, so it makes sense that it would be based on the brave damage because it didn't have HP damage. The trade-off of this is that if you are going to insist on bringing Faris through the elemental lockout content coming out, and there is a lot of stuff that locks out water, her battery, unless you use Setzer, is going to not happen. Like, her traps aren't going to battery, even if you do like Charlotta or something to deal HP damage, which I find just kind of funny. It's just like, man, even like something as minute as whether it's brave or HP damage on the trap giving you the battery, Faris loses out, so it felt kind of funny.
Yeah, Faris does seem like one of the big losers, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, Jojo, you got your
just the way. I mean, we've seen this before, but unfortunately, we're in an era where, in this case, it's Faris affected by it negatively.
Yeah. Yeah, this fight, I feel like you would probably just spam open fire constantly with it to get the dispels and reapply the buff. I don't want to. I at first originally thought this was kind of a weird fight to showcase her, but it does end up working. Overall, I think
she gets the job done for sure here. It actually does showcase probably for me the most meaningful part of her kit, which is that she's in a sort of unique place as a trap character who does not use a debuff to do her trap, and so I think every other character is either a counterattack character, meaning they rely on the enemy acting, or they're a trap character, but it's reliant on a debuff.
Right. Yeah, it's just on her overhead, so no matter what they do, unless they dispel everything on you, then...
Or they kill her.
You know what that
means? Or they
means?
kill her,
Yo, I'm just realizing, you know what this means? Agris and Faris, it works. You got the off-turn damage and doesn't care if they're paralyzed. I see what they did there. Very smart.
Wait a minute.
It's all coming together.
But yeah, I think this update really rounded her out well. Unfortunately, kind of a similar thing right now with Agris, where the current system mechanics aren't in her favor with the elemental lockouts coming out, considering she does have a few elements on mostly water, but like she has a few elements in her kit, so it's unfortunate.
I think it's wind and thunder as well.
Yeah. So if people don't know how the elemental lockouts work, the too long didn't read version of it is if they do any of the locked out elements as damage, then they hit for once. It's not hit for once, but it's they have like brave damage resist from starting from 100 and going up to 999. So functionally hitting for once, you can work around it.
Right, and this shouldn't be confused with the weaknesses portion. If if let's say the enemy, you can only deal thunder damage, and you bring like Ash or Garnet that enchants for Thunder Water and Thunder Holy respectively, since your party is dealing both elements and not just thunder, it just gets the brave damage reduction, and it's going to translate to basically you hitting ones or you hitting like very below average brave numbers, which in short obviously halts your damage.
So certain characters with multi-elements end up losing a little bit harder. Characters who have brave gains in their kits end up winning a little bit more, because if you are doing enough HP damage, generally you can just battery through it. So Charlotta, as people have been talking about Charlotta as kind of a nice option to get around it.
Or Setzer. Those are
or Setzer,
yeah,
someone who will just maximize your brave damage regardless.
Yeah, because
Sorry, I just want to shout out Black Nero's video. Black Nero and Excalibur did two nice videos on elemental lockouts. If you want some more information, I think they cover all the bases there. Really good recommendations.
Yeah,
I would say another shout out goes to
why wouldn't the invite go through? Why is it so hard to make co-op things? Sorry, you keep talking, Blind Eye.
Yeah, I wanted to also give a shout out to Tomberry Troop. Cell made a fantastic infographic detailing the lockouts that are going into play, and it's pretty detailed, and it expands more to just elements. Like I think both years event is like no debuffs, so like obviously you wouldn't bring something like Faris in there.
Yeah. There's some that are like debuff certain weapon types also, I believe. So like if you're doing melee damage. Probably the big one is Spiritus Pandemonium. You have to do magic damage if I remember correctly. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, and we've been used to, I think, for a long time now, we've been used to the idea that that weakness overrides resistance, or how to put it, if you can hit them for a single element of weakness, we've been used to that just kind of overriding whatever other considerations there might be. Oh, this boss, resists, it resists Holy, but it's weak to light thunder, and then you use Ash or whatever. Or it resists ranged, but it's weak to dark, and you just use Golbez or whatever.
You just use Golbez.
I just use Golbez. Thank you. I just use Golbez, I should have said. And so it's kind of a reversal now, almost kind of bringing things back in some ways. But it's it's kind of it's a different way to do things for sure, because it really cuts off wide swaths of the roster. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I also know it doesn't last forever, so I'm like, all right, we'll play this way, and just I'll see how it feels and how what I think about it. I did have a lot of fun already. I don't know if you guys have played around with the lockouts at all. I brought Paladin Cecil to this fight because it locks out Holy, and I was like, whatever, let's do it. And it turns out that he has like 50% Brave gain between every HP attack, and so he capped his HP damage the whole fight, so long as I used Fujin between to keep him batteried in the off turns, so that he always had battery starting his turns, and it was just amazing. He was doing like 400 damage a turn. It was crazy, just because
monstrous Paladin Cecil damage.
Yeah, for sure.
Support damage. It's there. All right. Well, we covered the characters, I think. I guess we should say so. Mouse, you went for Faris. I went for Faris. She's a favorite. I love Faris. Why not? Blonde Eddie, you free pulled her, if I remember right.
Yeah, I free pulled her FR. I haven't built her up. I have used her without FR, and she feels pretty strong.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I think she's probably pretty competent even as a no FR unit, just using other FRs to drive it as well.
I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she has she has a kit you can use, is what I'm going to say.
She has Brave gains in between her kit as well, so she's pretty consistent with her damage. I think her Whirlpool also has Brave gains in between.
Yeah, that's true. That's all new, too. She didn't have those before.
Yeah, they're not like a crazy amount of Brave gain, but it's there.
It's like 20%.
I guess we should probably talk about the fact that, Blonda, you have any... I'm shocked you haven't mentioned Faris's FR partner up to this point.
Oh, because I mentioned it last stream.
And that's enough? we're done? Okay, we don't have to talk about it. It's fine.
Wow.
I don't want to get into, who's a better blitzball player now.
Faris looks better at it.
I saw that animation, my guy. It's a hard sell for me. That was a heck of a move she pulled off.
Yeah, when's that FF5 collab for FF10-3? You know what I'm saying?
Now we're
Faris,
Now we're
the
talking.
blitzball team.
The women's blitzball league.
I guess we're just going to go ahead and start with this then, because I don't know, man.
I'm taking my daily hunts too. That's so fun.
I completely forgot I bought the damn thing and then was like, I'll deal with this later, and then completely forgot it was a thing. But yeah, you can see it starts off with 5 debuffs. There's so many debuffs to start off with.
What do you guys think about the third unit that's on Faris's banner?
She doesn't exist. She's not real. She can't hurt you.
To be a bit more, I don't know. That is maybe how far I want to get into it. But yeah, like Garnet is coming back. She had an extra banner that JP didn't get to because she had a BT rerun. At this point, excuse me, especially with Elemental Lockouts coming out, I don't think I recommend anyone pulling for her right now. She does come back later with her FR and FR Echoes, and I think probably waiting until then is probably the better time if you don't have her already. Just because of the investment cost, right? Like, we have a lot of good BT units coming out, and with Elemental Lockouts and her dual enchanting on her Yets, that's like a buff for your entire party. It's just like it's a hard sell, I think, personally. She's a great unit, but I just don't know who would be getting use out of her.
Yeah, it just honestly feels like this banner, if there wasn't Elemental Lockouts, is like great. You have an off-turn character, a disruptor, and even just like a solid like BT character. Her BT auras are still very like premium and standard, or above average. It's just we know what's coming, and it's like, good lord.
Yeah, no, the lockouts really make it hard to recommend Garnet, but then again, I think as a rule, it's very rare that you find a BT unit come back without getting an upgrade and then be like, oh yeah, this is a unit you should pull for in green. I'm worried people will see that and will like, will chase. They'll be like, oh, Garnet, OP unit, high tier list, whatever, and we'll chase her, which is why I almost didn't want to touch. It's probably good that we talk about it. So if
I've definitely seen a few people already like recommend going for Garnet, and like people have pulled Garnet, and it's just, I don't know. I think it's kind of it's like not thinking about the context that she's re-releasing in.
It's almost similar to Agrius, great unit who isn't going to fit that great in upcoming content just because of the water element is going to be not very well favored. And I think
there's just other support units you can pick up too. In the interim, one thing with Faris is that even after these Elemental Lockouts, she's still going to be a really good unit, just because she does so much and is already an off-turn unit, which is already good. But I think you can pick up other good support units in the interim, and then if you are interested in Garnet, just pick her up when she comes out.
Excalibur makes a good point, and I'm going to take that point, comment on it, and then make another point to kind of push back on that. Garnet is still somewhat serviceable in lockouts because she has a brave refund aura attached to her kit, which is true. It's a very good aura. She has great kind of all-around utility, or I hate using the term utility when it comes to just numbers, because Garnet Steel basically is just numbers. The thing about Garnet is to get that power, and you would need to pull her and green her BT, and I wouldn't at this point recommend anyone green a BT if there isn't a force weapon attached to it. We got Tifa, we got Renoa, we got we're gonna have Jack Garland eventually. We're gonna have Queena in some months, whatever. The point being, it's one thing to recommend like with Agrius. I'm not saying I recommend her because, as I said, context not very good. But if I was to recommend Agrius, the reason would be because it's an LD only unit, so you can pick that up. Cool, slaughter into team. She can fill role coverage. Not very high investment to pick that up. Luna Freya, great, another good character. But for Garnet to get that value, you'd need to pick her up and green a BT, which could be going towards like a more up-to-date Force FR user. Minwoo. Thank you. I knew there was a third one who I was missing. It was Tifa or no, Minwoo was the third I was thinking of. Forgot he existed. Sorry, Soundwave. My bad.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
I mean, Luna Freya was one last month as well.
Yeah, so like
they're pretty similar, but like FR versus no FR.
Exactly. Like I feel like if I'm gonna be I'm not going to recommend someone pick up a BT unit without an FR at this point. Generally, I mean it's funny because I think for Luna Freya we actually said specifically like her LD is the value, and that's true. But for Garnet, the BT is the value. And I don't want to be telling you, hey, you got to green this green this BT. It's more value than greening a BT and getting an FR for Renoa, for instance, is the example I'm going to use because she's right around the corner. Definitely don't pull for Ramza. Definitely don't pull for Agrius. I'm looking at chat. I'm staring you right in the metaphorical eye, Sophia Bard. You're right there. Showing up after we trashed Agrius and called her a terrible unit. Wow. That's not true. We think she's a very good unit who is kind of unfortunately placed context-wise.
Agrius sucks.
I wonder when they're gonna add that other Thunder character Bard from FFT. Be really juicy with the elemental lockouts in play.
But yeah, I agree. The investment cost, I think, is just too high for what we have coming up in the next little while to recommend. So,
Poto made a pretty good question. Would you recommend players invest BT ingots with damage dealers or supports as well?
That's a great question. I think it's a unit by unit thing. The fundamental kind of core of it, comes down to, as going forward, most characters are going to have a lot of power tied into their BT. Again, Luna Freya, sorry. She was an exception, I think, as we talked about, where the LD was the source for power. But for the most part, if you're going to use a character, you should use them at full investment. We're not going to be Pikachuing this. We're not going to be running around with like an LD only Renoa or like FR and LD only Minwoo. Like if you're going to max the FR, you might as well max the BT. If you're going to max the BT, you might as well max the FR. And so I think it's kind of moot whether it's damage or support. I think, generally speaking, a damage dealer benefits more from the BT because they can usually maximize the BT phase more. But supports often get like crazier auras. Not always. Often. I'm looking at Bart's at the start of Vinnia Plus, Ramza, both originally and during his BT Plus. Like, not every Garnet. Like, usually supports get beefier auras, but that's not always the case. I mean, everyone talks about Machina having 30% HP cap. So yeah, that's my take on it, Poto. I hope that's helpful. I'd say it depends on the character. I would usually just say if you're going to go for a character with the BT, I'd max the BT. What do you guys think, though? I kind of took that over and just kind of barged ahead with it.
Yeah, I guess I think I largely end up agreeing with you. Like, if you are going to be pulling a BT banner unit, just plan to go all in on it.
You're agreeing with me because I'm right.
Yeah, there's some obvious, like you mentioned, Lita is like an obvious one that we've talked about before. But I don't know. I think I end up investing more BT ingots into supports overall, just because they tend to have a little bit more longevity, or maybe not longevity, but they are a little bit more versatile. Your supports can support multiple teams, but your damage dealer does one thing. That's fine, but I end up having a lot of BT plus supports over damage dealers instead. So I don't know.
I think that question is more like opinion based, but it's like Mao said, investing in supports isn't all that bad, and I guess investing in DPS isn't that bad because you can invest into BT, for example, and she has no auras, but like her BT aura is giving what, like 30% HP damage cap up to the party. I mean, obviously she's going to be using a majority of it, but maybe in the downtime to like charge another FR use if they're still alive, like your party has that to go off of, you know? So your party is hitting like a little bit harder before she drives the FR.
Yeah, I think I just prefer the versatility of a support unit overall. Like I'm still, like if I'm pulling a BT unit, you bastard. If I'm pulling a BT unit, I will max them regardless. Like Jagron, like green Jagron is.
Sorry to interrupt.
Numbers right now.
Indo and Lard popping in here to say I'm late. Also, Faris is epic. Hello, Indo. You just missed us talking about Faris, ultimate waifu as she is, all that jazz. Thank you for the sub. We appreciate that. Appreciate the support as always. Good friend Indo and Lard. Go check him out on YouTube.
Thanks, Indo.
Thanks, Indo. Happy you're here, man.
Good content, some well-edited videos, which is not something you can often say about defo content creators. They're usually kind of lazy and shit. So, Indo, high-quality content. And I say this as a lazy, crummy YouTube creator.
But yeah, more on the supports. Like, people have used Luna Freya. I know people are still using Ramza BT, and that man doesn't even have an FR, and he's all over the place.
I think one nice thing about BT supports right now is, excuse me, if they're your only BT on the party, you don't have to care about how much damage they're doing in their phase. Machina kind of does that too if you play him a certain way, but you can just like pop the phase early on, do like 8 damage, and then you have the effect up for the whole fight, which is kind of a fun way to play the characters. Machina is kind of the same thing. If you're running him in like an off-turn comp, you just like phase instantly, do less than 8 damage, and then you have his strong BT effect up, and then his HP damage is like fun.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's good stuff.
I don't know if I had a point with that, but they're fun. I don't know.
Who's to say, honestly, if we're getting down to it.
I do like the way that Force Time has kind of recontextualized how I view BT units, though, in that way.
Yeah. So I've been staring at my screen. I guess I should theoretically run this fight, because that's why people, you know, do stuff.
Sure. Sure. Unfortunately, we do have to run this fight.
We do, don't we? Oh, man, someone... I couldn't see the name there, but thank you for following us. Damn.
Sir... Hack 144.
BlueStacks was in the way. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for following us. Good to see you. Welcome, and I hope you enjoy. You want to know why Faris and Walker are FR partners? It's because they're both passionate blitzball players. I thought that was obvious. Asking a question like that, bringing that kind of question in here, Indo. Come on. Okay, Bard's yelling.
They're both the most attractive characters in their game.
They're both pirate, and I'm kidding.
They're both voiced by John DiMaggio. Little known fact.
What?
Little known fact. You know, look it up.
Faris, whoa. What range that John DiMaggio has.
It's crazy, right? Okay, so let's see. Bard says use Ramza BT. MF says form check. Thank you. There we go. Hold on. I have to readjust my chair. There we go. Posture's good, and I pulled Young in. That made me think of that.
MFE is the channel points. What the hell?
There we go. Respect that. I mean, we're talking about Faris, but anyway, who do you guys want to, in chat, let us know. Who do you want to see me use in this fight while we, I guess, continue talking about whatever ends up getting talked about?
Lion.
I will not. I cannot. I must not. Do I even have her built?
I mean, I guess what we can talk about is our feelings on elemental lockouts. Are you guys prepared? Is there nothing to worry about? Or is there some kind of fear towards, I guess, this part of Shinryu?
Are you afraid, Blart?
Terrified. I wouldn't say I'm afraid. I'm mildly annoyed by it. Just because I don't like how... I mentioned, like, it kind of sweeps things, locks out characters in a very sweeping way. which I'm not a huge fan of. Org style drubbing. Sorry, I forgot that was the name of the thing. So I guess I could use Lion here.
You got that?
I mean, I'd
2 out of 5
say,
ultimate weapon.
I have that 2 out of
I'd
5.
say Blart's more worried that the fight Golbez was supposed to appear isn't just dark only and debuff immunity.
Are you asking if elemental lockouts are going to reflect on old content?
Yeah, Spacia X Heat. That question, is it going to reflect on old content? If you're talking about the elemental lockouts, no. That's only going to be for the content for the next 3 months or so. I think in January is when the last of the fights in which they have shown up so far in JP appear. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's.
I'd say after January, there are fights still with elemental lockouts, but it's less so as opposed to more so. Because like right now, it's like a majority, if not like a big chunk of them, will have elemental lockouts, and then like after about January or so, it's maybe downgraded to like maybe 1 or like 2 fights for that month have it.
Interesting.
Okay, I'm seeing a lot of extremely good suggestions I'm going to hate as far as who I should use here. We got Ramzo, we got Lion, Golbez, Edward, the Prince.
Whoa!
I don't actually know which one the Prince
Blair
is.
just scoffed at Golbez? What the heck?
What?
What's happening?
I mean, if you want to see me run Golbez here, I'll do it, but the condition is that I get to pick the other 2. Well, unfortunately, like Scal, I do not have Waka's LD, otherwise I'd consider that.
What was that? I was checking my ears. Can you repeat that for me?
What, that I don't oh, yeah, no, I told you this. I've tried to get Waka's LD, and it's missed me every time.
You try hard enough, it seems like.
I haven't tried. I can explain. I believe very strongly in the premise of Waka as a character in this game, and so I tried the RNG, and it didn't go in my favor.
There you go.
I see.
Tried to get the blind, it didn't work out. I tried to get the confuse. I used tickets. It was like, okay, stat down, give me the stat down, the tickets, and it gave me nothing. It gave me the, I actually don't remember what his third effect is on his LD, but finish the joke for me and that'll be good. I did not skip Waka's ball. Waka's ball skipped me. Actually, okay, Poto, that's an idea. I could run with that. We could do a disciplinary squad team. Actually, wait a second.
Fujin's fun in this fight.
There is no FR on this team. That's going to take a long time.
No way, there's Fujin unless you.
I do not have Fujin's LD.
Ooh.
I am confirmed as a sandblasting grease monkey, though. I'm sorry, Indo. Oof.
Well, this is an interesting run. Hey, at least they all have force enhancement.
My guys, we'll have to go to bed at some point. We can't be doing this.
Oh, you got Blue Cipher too, hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we got the Blue Cipher, I could.
You got an ultimate weapon for him?
Oh, I got an ultimate weapon for him. Check this guy out. Look at this. Do I have an ultimate weapon for him?
I don't think I could live.
Now you're gonna whoop out the 5 out of 5 spear for Raijin, right?
Sadly, I do not have a spear or throwing ultimate weapons. Okay. What about this? What about this right here?
That's something.
Yeah. Oh God, Poto noticed. I did put the second greatsword aside so that I could get the fist weapon for Yang, and now I'm. I do have Braska LD, which would be a terrible, terrible idea. We don't have time for that, but we could. I mean, I don't want to be making excuses here. Just
what happened to that Braska FR?
I feel like I'm digging myself into a deeper and deeper hole here. The further we go on, we need to just get into this fight. Oh God, Jesus, Roja. Like I want to get one FR on here somewhere just so the run doesn't take 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Ursula.
Oh yeah, Ursula's an FR, isn't she?
Yeah.
I feel like that's.
Yeah, didn't you say you got Ursula's FR?
I do have Ursula's FR, so we could Ursula. I hate it. I hate using her, but all the more reason.
Yeah, I know. It's been like
I don't
so
enjoy
long.
I do not enjoy this character, but here she is.
I don't like her. I liked her before. I don't like her in Force Time anymore, unfortunately. Her warps just end up fucking with.
I mean,
Her warps and just her instant turn rate on like moves you want to press are just clunky.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not amazing.
Nice, the Barts.
we
That's
got-
good for the wind.
We can do the Barts. We can do the Ursula. We got Cypher. We could do like a. I mean, what I want to do is put some kind of counter character in here to synergize with, to make up for the fact that Ursula's going to be turn warping like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want to give the people what they want. So, I mean, it could this could be cute.
There it is.
There
yeah,
it
I
is.
like that.
Okay, there we go. Young and Ursula is a cute combination.
With butts.
That's smart. That's smart. Putting them on the other side too, because you put them together. Sometimes you can see Yang in her animation, which just looks fun though.
In that case, we're gonna go ahead and move them here too, just to kind of add to that.
Just really scuff it.
Just really just make it look terrible. Okay, what are some good defensive? I think we want some nice defensive calls for this situation. Okay, let's see.
Excuse me.
I mean, duh. What other calls protect us from dying, guys? Come on, help me out here.
Gladio puts a brave and HP damage resist to the whole party.
Oh, okay, Gladio. I like that. That's a good pick.
I've actually been using that one pretty often. I feel like, honestly.
Oh, really? I should give that another. Let's give that a try. See how it goes. I mean,
It's not like like a big shield one like Warrior of Light or 9, but
Yeah.
it's handy.
it's
Do
no,
Irvine
that's
for
good.
that
We can
50%.
work around with that. All right. I mean, we could just pick Cyan for the last one, I guess, or something goofy.
I'll do Irvine for when they get 50% and you dodge all their attacks.
Yes, for the 4
I mean, you
turns
could
that-
always give your BT character the Waka call for 80% attack and Embrace for 2 turns.
I feel like I have to after earlier in this conversation. Jesus.
Ra is getting married and he's putting his focus there.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Indo Raw's getting married, and that's where he's handling that. Oh, and back with
I'd say the
Poto.
team.
Poto,
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and say that. You know what? Yeah, Bart's is the best BT plus of the first month. I can get away with saying that. There will be no repercussions for me doing that at all, for sure.
I mean, I was gonna say this team lacks an HP region, so I don't know if you want to throw a like an HP heal or even like something like Freya, who has like I think it's 2 sources of HP region on both the buttons.
Oh, that's
Or you
we're
can
learning
just
all
go
about nifty.
Piso.
I'm worried. I think Piesel might be based on damage dealt, so that'd be awkward.
That is correct.
Let's see here.
Raging Call has a heal.
And then
Beatrix, I believe, applies an HP region to the party as well.
this is kind of a cool little something right here. I think.
Trying to improvise.
There we go. We're not using Deuce LDCA.
Why not?
I mean, we could use Deuce LDCA.
It's not going to make the run go any worse.
All right, and then we pick the. Then we just pick the Charlotta friend. No, we're not. We don't use friend units on the live stream.
Not on this show.
Not on this show. We could use Garnet after all that talking. All right.
Guys, I'm really excited for the Deuce rework. I don't know why everyone's pooping on her. Too bad.
I mean,
I'm
it's
looking
Deuce.
forward to both reworks, honestly.
Both.
Oh, Deuce and Edwards.
I have strong thoughts about Edward that I was going to talk about in the next stream, but they really done us dirty here, I think.
Wow. Edward fans are unhappy.
Yeah, no, it's
Or Zinc when you need him.
I know, right?
He's gonna come out of retirement real quick and be like, "You see, guys, he sucks." All right, back to vacation.
Thanks, Inc. Jesus.
Does he? Does Edward suck on release? I don't know. I don't know anything about him.
I'd say his rework was pretty good. It's just there isn't really that much FRs that work with him.
I wouldn't. I think I know we've talked a lot about his rework, and I thought it was better, but the problem with Edward is that like they upgraded his damage and made it like not bad, but like we're talking support level. Oh, it's instant break. Cool. We're talking like the usual support level kind of upgrades that we like to see. Nothing in terms of like it's not giving him. Sorry, I'm blanking right now. We're trying to set up a Bart's Burst phase of all things. He's getting like the basic damage upgrades. His auras are being untouched. His debuff utility, like sleep is being buffed pretty nicely. It still goes down when the enemy acts, which is kind of lame. But like,
also when you do damage, I believe, right?
Yeah, it still like, goes down when you do damage, which is kind of in this day and age is like whatever. But the problem is like his auras are untouched, and so his damage is gonna be like support level. It's like 3 HP done a turn, so he's not like pumping out competitive damage. He doesn't, and like his aura, he still has no HP damage up for the party, like none.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and then on top of that, I feel like we're circling back to the Agria situation where like he's counterproductive.
Yeah.
For like the units we're using. So like statistically speaking, he's just not beneficial. Even to the people that like already have him, like this is a free upgrade. Like it's pretty hard to justify bringing Edward in this day and age. Maybe if there was something to pressure us into, locking out our characters, then he could be a consideration.
Yeah, so like, I don't know. I'll be using him because I love Edward, but like, he just doesn't look to me like he actually does. I look at him like his party support's kind of jank now. His damage is not impressive. The only things I think the thing with him is they said themselves, okay, we're going to lean into, or when he debuted, he had the utility of a really good debuffer with the support of a really good support, and they were like, that's too much. That's too much power for one character to have, and so we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to punish him by basically kind of not really giving him decent upgrades. So I've kind of gone back and forth about that. We'll talk more, I'm sure, next week when we actually see him in action when he comes out. But he is.
Yeah, that was a sneak preview.
Yeah, that's just a sneak preview for true Lifestream fans. I hate this character. God, Ursula. So,
are we gonna see? Oh my God, he pressed the HP plus.
Whoa.
God, I do not like. Anyway, what am I doing with you?
What era are we in?
Tell me about it. You're asking me. We're in the young dominance era, is what we are in. Jesus.
You're talking about Edward right now because this fight sucked. So there's nothing to talk about.
Oh yeah. We want to talk about how bad this fight is. It's a really bad fight. Like holy.
Did you get to the first threshold?
Jeez. Oh God, we're not.
We're getting there.
Oh, almost. We're almost there. Are we? Did we not even? Oh, for Christ's sake.
That HP attack probably didn't help. Is there her
she burns out so fast, though. I don't want to use her skills, It's a good thing Young is as awesome as he is.
It's true.
Otherwise, we'd be in big trouble.
So this boss has like 4 attacks or something, and like 2 of them are HP attacks.
Yeah.
Oh, it actually has an HP attack beside the Hujamajig, the recast.
Yeah, I think if they're in their force time, Energy Cannon becomes Energy Cannon Plus, and it becomes a single target HP attack.
Ah, that's nice.
That is correct, yeah.
That's cute.
And the problem with that is they're pretty easy to exploit, I'd say.
Yeah.
With off turns.
Yeah, they really want you to use an off turn. Both these last 2 fights that we got really want you to use an off turn team. My 8 has been eating.
I believe it. I should be using 8. He's not blue, and so I haven't touched him. But like, 8 looks so good.
He's so fun.
I would love to use 8. Fortunately, I pitied the BT featured on his banner without getting 8 LD. So I guess it wasn't meant to be.
Go back in with gems. But yeah, so I think, what is it, at the 80%? Or is it, it's their force threshold, that right? That starts the turn warping?
I believe it is 80%, actually. Or maybe it's the first bracket of the FR.
Yeah, it's the first FR bracket. The 40% is what starts the turn warping.
Yeah. So from here on, they'll warp like that to this. So both of them get a turn, which is great for an off-turn comp. Ooh.
I hope you all are ready for an extremely fun fight.
I think one thing, because we this was the Terra fight, right? The one that we got.
Yeah, this is the Terra fight.
So that sucked. Like, we were getting a worse version of a fight that we already had.
And I believe here, Bl'Ar, well, like Scal pointed out in the chat, I think Bl'Ar just screwed himself over.
It's true.
Because now he's looping. Because now he's looping with Ursula.
That's so bad. I hate this character so much. Wow, that's such a bad. That's so bad.
Just kill the boss now.
I don't want to kill the boss now. So Pride from Father, is that? Hold on, is that this one?
That's her LD.
The LD is what allows her to turn warp.
Can I just restart and not use the LD? This is bad.
Still bring the character. We don't like
Ursula is so bad that you can't even.
I don't. Yeah, screw this noise. I
use Brother Summon.
I don't want to bother going through the motions here. This just feels bad. Oh, Christ. Okay, like. Jesus.
But yeah, overall, there's like not a lot to say about this fight that probably hasn't been already said. It's even easier to abuse off-turn units now than it was on the Terra release.
Yeah, basically whoop out your cores, your gladios, your orans. If you don't have an off-turn, Faris is great here. Yeah, and if you're worried about the elemental lockouts,
I'm not even gonna play this out.
8 is on the other banner, and I'm pretty sure they don't have guaranteed hit, so 8 is pretty good here.
That sounds right. I'm pretty sure they don't. I don't remember.
Can I sell Ursula's FR right now? I think I kind of want to just sell her FR and pretend that the character doesn't exist anymore.
Go for it.
I hate this character. Anyway,
go for it.
Here we go.
Xcal is making a good point with, you're not going to be doing the damage in the summon, but brothers will make you hit ones during the summon. But you're probably just going to use it to do a big.
That was the
damage,
intention.
Right? Yeah. I did notice that during my fight too, which was pretty funny. It's not something I thought about.
God, that was so stupid. I'm so mad about that.
Get rid of Yang and do a FF5.
Oh yeah, that's cute. That's a cute idea. All right, FF5 team. Why the heck not?
Why not?
It just nothing. This fight doesn't matter.
Wow.
I found the one character in the game that made the fight interesting because it becomes unwinnable because Ursula sucks. Is it too late to call her the worst character in the game?
Damn. Yeah.
Damn.
What a shitty character.
The fact that you still have to spam HP attack.
It's so
you don't
bad.
have to do it. You just have to bring stronger units. Other units.
That's one way to put it, yeah.
If you're running,
you put Tifa in there, like, yeah.
Yeah, because you need to build a good team to carry the fact that she's the worst unit in the game.
No, come on.
She's a very bad unit.
I think you guys are underselling her a little.
Hanshu says that she's better than Thancred.
It's true, she's better than Thancred, I guess. But that's only because she has now. I'm mostly just salty because I find her kid unfun to play. The whole turn, having a support who turn warps and takes up force time right now in this era just feels bad.
Do the Faris solo. Oh yeah, there has been a few solos for this fight, right?
There has been.
Core.
I think there was even a duel with Core and Gladio.
That's cute. Yeah, no, I mean, I will say I don't hate this fight because the mechanics of it are actually kind of fun. In not like in a challenge way, but in like a you can do goofy stuff with the way that the bosses work. Like often teams are really goofy here in a funny way.
Yeah, it is funny. Your off-turn FRs end up being like
crazy,
an effective like 20 turns or whatever.
You get so much mileage out of it, yeah.
Pretty funny.
So there we go. This is actually kind of perfect because this extremely good FR team or Final Fantasy VIII team. Notice how it has the exact 8 debuffs. It's got the elemental coverage. We got the off-turn damage from Faris. We got off-turn damage that doesn't scale from FR on X-Death. It's all coming together, baby.
Reno Core Faris, and it took more turns than the Reno Core duo. That's funny.
That's very silly. All right. I'm gonna
Don't forget to get your S1 upgraded too.
What?
You need that enfeeblement up.
I did the enfeeblement. I got the enfeeblement up. We had that enfeeblement up. Just you wait. Once we get them close to 40%, we're gonna hop into the X-Death BT. We're gonna get that off-turn damage ticking up. It's gonna be awesome.
So you can use X-Death phase here too, because it doesn't matter that you're doing no damage.
Exactly. God, what a silly fight. It's absolutely nothing happening here.
With a splash?
Faris putting out the numbers.
Yeah, look at those Faris numbers. The whatchamacallit really coming in clutch here.
It's more dumps than Orin.
Is it though?
And then her debuffs are also neutering the enemy's attack. It's like what, 70%, right?
No, it's not more dumps than Orin.
Oops, I messed up. How did Bart get 3? You know what? I don't care. I honestly,
Boy's fast.
I don't know how Bart's meant. Is he that much faster than these other two characters? That's. Bart's needs. I'll say Bart's needs help, but that animation is sick.
Yeah. I like that we had the same thought at the same time.
Yeah, he's simpatico, my guy, simpatico.
Yeah, I haven't seen that animation in a long time. I like it. Some of the old BT animations are all right.
Oh, Cross 13 in the chat saying what we're all thinking.
Sub Cross.
Howdy, Cross. Yeah, no, Bart's looks fast compared to the other two doofuses on his team. Look at all the... Did you see all the attack down on this team? There's so much attack down on this team. It's insane. Uh-oh. Oh, that's going to be a problem.
You sure you didn't summon like a friend, Kimari, and then, he's away now?
We actually have an awkward problem on our hands here.
What's up?
It's kind of dumb, but is this going to happen the way I'm worried it's going to happen? I think that we're going to have to... I think we have to wait a turn before we... So, okay, I see how this is going to have to go. We're going to have to wait a turn before going into X-Death's BT. Are we? Actually, no, we don't need to wait. Waiting's for cowards. We're gonna do it.
Just do it now.
Yeah, we're gonna do it right now. Okay, so for starters, this is gonna be done because we haven't set up well. We're actually going to hit that C65.
You hope?
Because we're in that attack boost. Now, I would have wanted to do that outside of burst, but the trick is they has 7 debuffs on them now, and if they do a turn warp and buff themselves, then Faris won't be able to put her L debuff back on them. And we want 8 debuffs for that sweet, sweet Faris FR. So that's the thinking there. And Hantru, the reason is there's no I should have put Waka Call on X-Death, you're right, but I was so mad about Ursula that I forgot that calls existed in this game. And so here we are. I forgot the calls were a thing.
80% attack up with that poison would have been handy.
Yeah, no, the Waka call with X-Death is chef's kiss power. It's the main reason I was like, I got to get that at Waka LD, and then he skipped me, and I was like, I hope one day Blind Eye will forgive me for this. Today's not that day. There we go. Look at all this damage he's putting out. Look at the numbers.
This character is insane.
Here we go. Zhunk. Wonk.
I love this animation still. It's like Shadow
Such
Realm.
a good... Oh, God. Where's the black hole? Oh. Anyway, that was such a good...
What the fuck?
Yeah, what the hell?
Wait a minute. Square Enix, are you seeing this?
Huh?
Outrage.
I just realized I forgot to turn on the game sound.
You just evaporate. Yeah.
Yo?
They gone. All right. So we can... Oh, this is going to be awkward. Faris is going to have to... Oh, this is going to suck.
You have to LD, right?
I'm going to have to LD, meaning the EX is going to fall off. And
You probably want to EX first, then.
Yeah. No, I don't want them warping and buffing so I can't get the LD onto them. Because the LD doesn't dispel. So I have to do this.
We lose so much damage.
I know, I hate it.
Yeah, then you have to EX and then LD.
And then FR.
Or not LD, FR.
Unless I summon...
And then Enfeeblement is running out too, so you have to refresh that. You know, it is important.
I'm honestly thinking I might just pop the summon to make them stop goddamn warping for like 2 seconds so I can reset up all of Faris' stuff. We've talked about that. I mentioned this. This fight, the warping thing with Faris, great for selling her new effect. Absolutely terrible for selling every other component of her kit because she's so slow that you can't do everything you need to do. Which is actually why I think... no. I think I'm going to EX on the next turn, and then FR on the turn after that, and then by that point, all of the debuffs are probably going to have fallen off. Damn, Faris, what the hell?
What a terrible character.
Honshu says I should have brought Lunafreya LDC. What's an LDCA? What is that? What's that supposed to mean? Is that like a thing that characters do? What is some kind of slang I'm not familiar with? LDCA?
Ludka,
because I don't know. Sounds like some weird cheating thing that good players don't use. I'm sorry, Honshu. That was needlessly harsh. I'm still very upset about Ursula. You didn't need that. I did drop an overhead, paying tribute to our favorite non-present, non-retired Lifestream host, threading that particular needle.
Best player in the game.
The best player in the game.
FR does remove buffs, by the way.
What? It does?
Yeah.
Oh, you're kidding me. Okay, well, that's actually really good to know. Okay, well, here we go.
It's one of her effects, and then she also party enchants water with her FR.
Yeah, no, that I knew about. I look forward to her being the only character on the team who actually does water damage.
Yahoo! Faris animations are always so good.
Yeah, no, her animations are top tier. I'm not nearly drunk enough for this. I'm not drunk at all, which is exactly what I'm saying. Oh, Jesus Christ! And who's about to lose their? Someone's about to lose a debuff. Is that X-Death? That better not be Faris. Oh, the enemy got a force time. Is that a thing? Oh, they're going to just like totally chew through their debuffs, aren't they? Oh my god.
Maybe.
Oh my lord, this is just bad.
Long dollar Canada activation.
Okay.
LDCA. I don't know about that.
Yeah, long dollar. That makes sense. Long dollar Canada activation.
It's called a loony.
You can check these one turn, yeah.
All right, whatever. We don't care. Doesn't matter. They're at 70%. We haven't even gone to force time yet. Nothing matters. All things are meaningless.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. That this team has done enough damage that we're like already almost done. This is probably a very easy fight to know FR.
FF5 team.
Broken.
Look at all the off-turn damage that I could be doing right now. You know what's going to happen? By the time we find they're able to use Faris's FR, they're going to no longer be turn warping.
This team is so defensive. They have like 5 Brave Poisons going off. And then Faris is LTD.
This team is invincible.
This is one of the nice things about having her thing be her follow-up or off-turn thing be an overhead is that if you are paying attention and don't let it fall off on purpose.
Listen. just now. See here, you. Let's see what.
But even on a fight that turn warps like this and all of your buffs fall off, then you're still doing it.
Pretty sure. Okay, I think we'll just do this again. Get some of these. Get some more debuffs on them. Everything's going exactly as I needed it to. It is true. It wouldn't be the live. I feel like it wouldn't be the live stream if we had run Faris here and the overhead had stayed on the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. They're going to stop.
Our script is have audio difficulties at the beginning and then have an overhead fall off.
Part of the sequencing.
Part of our ritual.
This is actually perfect. They're no longer turn warping, so I have time to set myself goddamn up again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is great. We can water wall in front of them. Get that.
Yeah, so you can refresh and feeble because that is important.
Yo, that was a pretty.
Don't forget to do that one.
Yeah, we did that.
There we go.
Bart's is just going to continue doing dumb Bart stuff. There we go. Oh, yeah, look at that. I mean, that actually hits pretty decently hard, given that it triggers every turn or so.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gonna get this action up in there. We're waiting to FR until they're turn warping again. Is my rationale. My figuring there. Wasting a launch because I didn't notice the little icon, so we're doing great. This is going just splendidly. Who even needs quality launches? Like, what is this? What is this? Lail BT? I got nothing here.
You're gonna have to LD with Faris if you want those buffs framed.
Oh my god.
Because they'll just override.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. This is going really well. There we go. Let's go ahead and double hand again. That's the classic Bart's technique. You don't press his skill 2 while he's got his BT effect up because it's high turn rate. That's the stuff you learn watching the live stream.
Educational.
You know, at this rate, I could probably just kill them without pressing the FR. But we don't have time for that. I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble if I do that. No, we do want to do this. I think. No, we don't.
Hey man, hello.
Howdy, Eamon. There we go. There's some good.
Hey, good evening, Eamon.
Oh my god.
Okay.
He's busy, okay?
The big man is busy. Oh, the turn warping again. Oh no. Here it comes.
Here it comes.
And they missed, so it didn't even dispel with the Vanille Sphere. That's
funny.
That is outstanding.
I mean, you can just FR and then LD on our next turn.
Yeah, that I think that'll be fine. Who knows when that'll be?
Too busy simping over the new Bleach. I've heard excellent things.
All right, you know what? It's time. We've been waiting long enough. Let's check this animation out. This'll shiver your timbers. That's a great thing. That's a great FR line.
Yeah, that may be.
This'll shiver your timbers.
This'll shiver your timbers. Look at that. Boom. Look at that form. Damn,
I'm
that's
here
good.
for the assist. Yo?
Oh, there we go. I mean...
Put her on the blitzball team.
Put her right on the blitzball team.
Faris collab in the new FF10.
Should be my left forward. Have you ever done the full blitzball league blurt? I know Blind Eye has for sure.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
No, but I do co-host a weekly stream with a guy who has.
There you go.
So that's something.
I actually enjoyed the Blitzball mini game. It was pretty good.
It's fun.
Yeah. It took me forever to beat the freaking Luca goers, though.
Like, yo, what the fuck? They're on performance enhancers or something.
Yeah, it's like they took some steroids before you fight them. Like, I remember struggling to get the freaking ball in the goalie because their goalie was so inflated. His, like, catch stat was, like, higher than Titus's shoot stat, and, like, that's literally the highest shooter you have.
Now, Bishop, you're not wrong that the fight definitely would have been over had I brought Galuf instead of any of the other 3 members of this team, but I forgot Galuf was in the game because I was sorting by Force Enhance instead of by Series or Crystal. So that's on me.
We only picked our live.
They got their 3 turns back to back now.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be. Look at this damage as it takes up. Look at how quickly this damage is going to just rack up on him.
Insane.
I was also extremely upset about having to use Ursula. Still not over that, but that's a big part of why I was so upset.
It's a thing with these generic characters too. Like, I thought I would like them and use them often, but I find myself not using them.
Yeah, because it's like, unless you're dealing with lockout content, it just doesn't matter, you know? Like, why use a generic character when you could use an actual good character?
Damn.
And bam, Dispel. There we go. Vanille Sphere. Damn, they warped through like all of XSZ buffs, didn't they?
A little bit.
Holy crap. Okay.
I think that Dispel also stretched into B as well. That was pretty interesting to watch, even though it's splash damage.
What's this, sir?
Oh, that B got dispelled when A triggered the Whirlpool.
Oh yeah, it did. What the?
Yeah. Look, he has 7 slots clogged up, 5 debuffs and 2 buffs. He used to have 3 buffs, so that was interesting.
Huh, cool. I mean,
Faris with Vanille Sphere is just water Beatrix.
Shut up.
No, you didn't hear the new thing in town, Bl'Art?
The new thing. What's the new thing in town?
That Minwoo is a holy version of Ruby Conte.
Oh, he's just Holy Ruby Conte?
Yeah.
Of course, why didn't I think of that? Of course it is. Damn, I should have just it makes so much sense.
No, see, I did deserve that. I did deserve the shut up.
Oh man, this is just excruciating. I hate this. Everything about it.
What's wrong? It's going well.
It just feels so bad. It's like
one half-hour run.
I mean, it's still 8 turns. You still got a while before it runs out.
I'm gonna have to go to bed before it runs out at this rate. Jesus.
Yeah, see, 8 buff got dispelled as well.
Okay.
Literally broken.
Okay, so I guess we'll just...
Vanille Sphere broken, guys. It's AoE.
Yeah, no, the Vanille Sphere, it's too good. It's too powerful. It's too strong. I will say, I am looking forward to doing hitting that XFBT finisher on his next turn with the HP damage bonus from the FR. That's going to be pretty good.
Yes, sir.
Look at that 50 damage, or 50%. 50% up.
Oof.
That's quality you can't buy.
On turn 7?
On turn 7. Look at this. Look at all this jazz. There we go. Their buffs are gone. They're covered in debuffs. Everything's coming up Millhouse. Are we allowed to say Millhouse on this show? I don't actually think we're, like, it's like a copyright thing. We already mentioned John DiMaggio, so...
Guys, copyright?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay, we're good. All right.
I'll say it. Homer Simpson.
Oh my! You're gonna get us canceled, my guy. I don't mean socially. I mean like they're gonna send in the lawyers.
To us, yeah, for sure.
There we go. Look at this. Look at this damage. That was a close one. I almost fat fingered the brave attack, and I'm using a mouse.
Oh, I saw that.
that would have been gross. I think BT finisher and then summon is going to do it here. Don't quote me, but I think that's going to do it.
I can see.
Yeah, I don't know if you have any calls that you want to add in to extend the.
What are you talking about? I don't. No comprende, señor. I don't know what you're talking about. What this call business is? This must be some kind of weird JP bullshit that hasn't reached GL yet. The only possible explanation for the words that are coming out of your mouth right now. Oh man, I hope I've been belligerent enough. It's not easy filling in for the man, the myth, the raw
legend.
life. Yeah. Here we go again. I wish I'd remembered to turn the sound on before we went this fight. Wonk.
Well, the black hole up here, though.
Sorry.
Will the black hole show up? Where is it?
Where's the black hole? What happened to the black hole? Why
Where
is it there?
Say it.
I hate this. I hate it here.
Scammed.
This is the worst.
Don't forget what they took away from you.
So, let's go for a little bit of off topic here and talk about JP, Bl'Art. Being the FF12 guy, are you excited for, the new character coming out?
Oh, you're talking about Reks, everybody's favorite playable character.
Yeah, I'm talking about Reks, yeah?
Yes.
Raditz.
Raditz, the hit saying from everyone's favorite playable Dragon Ball Z game, Raditz.
I think Raditz probably has the same amount of screen time as Reks does in a game.
How tragic.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad. Of all the characters they could have picked, they picked a character.
Reks is definitely one of the characters of all time.
Is he though? Is he even? Are we sure about that?
This is definitely probably I thought Dorgon was scraping the bottom of the barrel personally.
Oh, no. No. Dorgon at least has the the credentials, I think, as he helped seal Exdeath in a previous time, and he raised Bartz and taught him everything he knew, and whatever. He showed up in cutscenes, and
they should have put Boko in instead.
Boko would have been a much better pick.
Boko, yeah. He even made a cameo in
hey guys,
War of the Lions, I remember.
Defocate. Oh shit.
Hey guys, check it out. No summon run. Look at Final Fantasy V. No summon, no calls, no friend unit. One FR. Look at how powerful this Final Fantasy V team is. Look at how good this team is.
Damn.
You can't buy quality like that. That's craftsmanship. No healing, no healing on this team. Look at that. I made the HP requirement. Damn, it's so good.
Bart's carried the team on his back.
Just his back has been broken from carrying the team all the way across the finish line. Cross Boonevels. Is that some kind of JP bullshit that I don't know about? Like this call business people talk about? This is a GL show, Cross. The GL show. You got to bring the GL shit in here. I shouldn't say that.
Reks is like a terrible choice.
Oh
I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Who?
Reks was. I don't even know what they're thinking with Reks. I know what they're thinking. They're thinking, oh well, we capitalize on that one. Oh my god, hi VL. I take it back. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I don't know if you're. Good to see you though. Is it
Reks guy?
Rex guy, yeah, no, that'll. I hope you're all ready for the Reks saga.
Reks is the character I've played the most in Final Fantasy 12. So
that counts for something. Mouse's official favorite Final Fantasy 12 character. You heard it here first, folks.
Yep.
You're the one that was like, "Can I get Reks to level 99?"
I just don't remember playing much after that.
Yeah, Raw Life is gonna love Reks. My goodness, I'm sure he's gonna have no opinions at all on that particular choice that has been made by the developers of this game. I mean,
yeah, they should just make Reks so strong that I want them to make Reks so strong. We're gonna get people come out and be like, "Yeah, Reks has always been one of my favorite characters."
I feel like they do that with Hope, because I know Hope is not a well-liked character, but then his kid is always so inflated every time he gets a tuning pass in Dino.
Hope's probably one of the best characters in all of Final Fantasy.
oh yes, no,
Like, he was good at EX Plus. At LD, he was fantastic, and he's getting an FR next month. And a little bit of spoilers, he's pretty crazy.
no. Hope is one of those rare. Yeah, Hope is just Jesus Christ. He looks insane. So, not that I pay attention to him at all because this is a GL show, no spoilers. But, oh, fun fact! I forgot to mention this. We were talking about Edward earlier. I want to point out, Rude now has better auras than Edward does.
Yahoo!
Rude,
finally,
awesome
Rude.
auras, outshining Edward.
The king is back.
The prophecy returns. This fella right here. Look at this beefcake. Just
God, I can't wait for freaking Rude's FR. I feel like they have to break the freaking rule that they made with FRs. Like, they just need to like have him pair up with Reno.
that's the fact that none of the Turks are like in each other's animations. You're also, breaking news, hot off the press. Indolent Lard is day one Reks fan, so
there we go.
When he shows up and dominates the metagame, we all know, Indo was there first.
Yeah, he's not meta hogging, like he's actual Reks guy.
Yeah, actual legitimate Reks guy right there. He's got the pedigree.
It's always funny because I feel like Rude and Reno always like come together on a banner, right? Like if one's on it, usually the other's there too.
Yeah, that or like back to back. Yeah, like I know the next time they appear is like on Anna Crow's banner, and it's literally like Anna, Reno, and Rude. I guess Anna's supposed to represent like Elena or something.
There you go. I guess Rude does show up on that Twins banner that's coming up with Balthier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go for Balthier, Blair? I feel like as a Beatrix fan.
Yeah, you going for the leading man?
I mean, I really like Balthier, not gonna lie. Tempting. There's part of me that's like, oh, you can save for his BT when he becomes like really good, but I mean, come on, who actually does that, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm not doing that. Pain is a higher priority for me.
Losers.
That'll be good. Are you guys going for? Well, no. You know what? I feel like we could spend all night being like, hey, you going for this guy who's coming from JP? Well, that does not sound like compelling content.
For sure.
Unless we have any sort of other breaking news, pressing thoughts, or urgent topics, I think that's probably a safe place to call it for the evening.
You can wrap it up, yeah.
Yeah, I know it was a bit of a lighter, kind of lighter, little chiller stream. I hope I carried the banner high, letting the overheads fall off and the buffs and the debuffs and all that. Just generally playing to the quality and standards you'd expect when you tune in every week for the live stream. Blind Eye, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, guys, hopefully you had fun with Faris, with that Waka. It's clear Waka's carrying Faris, so, yeah, man. Have a good night, everybody, and I'll see you all next week.
And Mouse, any closing thoughts for the people?
Nope. Not this week. Do your thing. Don't forget to get lots of sleep during the week. Go to the gym. Smoke 8 cigarettes at a time.
Damn. I realized I forgot something, and at the same moment I did, Honshu reminded of something else I forgot, because I was supposed to shout any questions after the fight, and I'm still very upset about Ursula. I'm it really messed me up.
Heart is reeling.
I'm heavily tilted over the experience of using Ursula in a modern Shinryu fight. And on top of that, I also realized I forgot to put up a points poll, so sorry folks, you did not get a chance to bet this week. Next week, we'll try and remember to do that. But anyway,
a lot more organized.
I suppose my closing thoughts will in that case be any goddamn questions. All right. Good night, folks. Adios.